Welcome to episode 6 in our series on the 7 wonders of the ancient world. The mausoleum at Halicarnassus is unique among the 7 wonders of the world in that it is the only wonder of the world which was dedicated to a man rather than a god. As you can see, all of the other 6 are dedicated to Zeus or Artemis or Helios, also called Apollo, and the pyramids were of course dedicated to the Egyptian pharaohs, who were considered to be living gods by the Egyptians and would rule in the next world with their direct relations, the other gods. So, who was this man who warranted building a wonder of the world for? He was actually the Persian governor of the province of Caria. However, because Caria was so far from the seat of the Persian kings in Persepolis, the governors of Caria effectively became kings and queens in their own right. And one of the most famous and infamous was King Mausoleum of Caria, who ruled alongside his queen Artemisia, who also happened to be his sister. Apparently, sister marrying was a common tradition in the House of Caria, one of the very few dynasties in the ancient Greek world to do so, one of the few others being the Ptolemies of Egypt. Together, King Mausoleum and Queen Artemisia expanded their kingdom to include the coast of southwestern Turkey, and once they had access to the ocean, they also had access to the rich trade routes running both east and west, and Caria was transformed from a provincial backwater into a fabulously wealthy metropolis. However, prosperity came with a price, namely King Mausoleum's taxes. King Mausoleum wanted to be the ruler of the greatest city in the Greek-speaking world, namely his capital at Halicarnassus. He taxed his newly rich subjects to the hilt to finance the buildings of temples and great public works, and his subjects showed their appreciation for this program of high taxes by repeatedly trying to kill him. And after 24 years on the throne, disease finally did what many assassins could not in 353 BC, and King Mausoleum died of illness. Artemisia, his grieving sister queen, ordered the greatest tomb in the world to be built for him, not only so that he would be remembered forever, but so that both she and Mausoleum would be worshipped as gods after their deaths. Obviously, ego ran in the family. For the first step in this grand project, she ordered Mausoleum's ashes to be burned down, and then she mixed in the remains of her brother with spiced wine and drank the mixture down so that they would be together forever. On a slightly less gross note, to design her husband's tomb, Artemisia ordered the building of a marble structure with Greek-style columns and an Egyptian-style pyramid for a roof. An outer wall was lined with statues, and it included 250 brightly painted pictures set up in tiers around the building, which itself was 140 feet tall. One could literally get an instruction in Greek mythology simply by walking around the outer tier of the building and observing all of the statues of Greek heroes. It is said that there were as many as 250 statues constructed for the mausoleum, including 2 statues of Mausoleum and Artemisia on the roof of the building, where they were driving a chariot pulled by a team of 4 horses together forever, just like Artemisia wanted. Carved friezes showing scenes of war and hunting filled the inside of the tomb, like this one depicting Greek soldiers fighting against the Amazons, and apparently not doing a great job of it. After the staircase was built, Artemisia both had a pair of stone lions built to guard the steps of her brother-husband's tomb, and also ordered the sacrifice of hundreds of sheep, pigs, goats, swans, and oxen. So many animals were killed that the steps of the mausoleum were covered in congealed blood and a pile of corpses gathered at the bottom of the stairs. Artemisia herself would only live for 2 more years, dying before the construction of the tomb was finished. However, after her death, the workers continued to toil away on the mausoleum, even when the treasury ran empty and they simply had to work without pay. Why did they do this? It may have been that they simply wanted to be remembered forever, just like Mausoleum and Artemisia. Whatever the case, the mausoleum at Halicarnassus stood for over 1,000 years until an earthquake damaged the tomb, and it was finally dismantled in the Middle Ages by the crusading order of the Knights of St. John, who took the stone from the mausoleum at Halicarnassus to build castles to fight against their enemy, though it was said that some of the Knights of St. John wept as they had to tear apart such a beautiful structure for military purposes. However, King Mausoleum lives on in one other way. To this day, grand tombs that house persons of great importance are called mausoleums after him. And that wraps things up for this episode of Channel Legendarium. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you liked what you saw, press like, of course. If you want to see more, press subscribe. If you've got anything to say, please let me know in the comments section. Thanks again for joining me, and I hope that you have a great rest of the day.